Hey, this is Caleb with Expert Professional Wood Care. I'm going to show you how to set up your Expert paint and stain machine. All right, guys, when you get your Expert paint and stain machine, it's going to come on a pallet just like this. You want to unwrap it and get it into your work area. And the first thing you want to do is just go through it and make sure everything's there. Generally, you're going to find you've got some wooden spacers, and then you've got a bag of hardware here for your legs. All the rollers, all the brushes, those things are already installed. So let's get started putting it together. Find the hardware bag inside the reservoir and install the thumb or wing bolts into the threaded holes in the upper part of the machine legs. The finish is a durable powder coated finish, so if you have some trouble getting the bolts to go in the threads, it's just because of the coating, so stick with it. Next, you want to lift the machine with two people and insert the legs into the slots and then tighten them down. The legs are designed to bend outward to provide a wider base, so make sure the thumb screws are pointing to the center of the machine. Now next, lift the machine all the way up and continue this process on the other side. Ensure all the screws are tightened, but not over tightened. Hand tight is enough. Next, go ahead and install your bucket underneath the machine by hanging it on the hook underneath, and turn the ball valve to the closed position until you're ready for staining.
All right, once you get your machine up and off the ground, we're just going to open it up. We're just going to drop the pans down on the side, and you want to make sure that these pans are tilted back in towards the machine, so if you get any stain, it'll just drip right into the machine, and you can make that adjustment with these screws right here real quick. This piece here, we see a lot of guys running this machine with this up. It's best to leave it down because that's what your lumber is actually going to ride on, and those adjustment screws are on the left and the right sides of the machine to set that level. Now the first thing I like to do, because we're going to stain both sides of the lumber, this machine is set up from the factory to stain one side only of the lumber. If we're going to stain both sides, you've got a drip pan underneath. We just need to put a spacer under it so that the bottom roller can roll right in the drip pan. There we go, we're set up.
Be sure to set the brushes to apply a decent amount of pressure to the boards as they pass through. It should be tight. The brush's job is to remove excess paint or stain from the board. You want to remove as much of that excess product as possible to improve your drying times.
So to set the machine up, I really like to just shove a board through the machine. Go ahead and get whatever lumber you're running, and then we just want to adjust all the rollers and all the brushes down to the lumber. I like to squeeze the sides of the lumber just a little bit with my side rollers, which can be adjusted through these thumb screws. And the top roller, I like to have just a little bit of pressure there too, so that apply just a little pressure, tighten everything down. All right.
The stain reservoir holds 5 gallons of paint or stain, and this will do quite a few boards before needing refilled depending on the flow rate that you have set.
Next thing, we can set our top of the plate right on top of the machine. There's going to be 2 screws here, and there's holes in the machine, or in the plate, and you just set them right on top of those screws and it will actually hold the plate in place. And next thing, we want to put our tray or our reservoir on. This is our stain reservoir. Make sure our filter's in there, and if you need to get in there and clean that out, you can easily pick it up like that.
You're going to notice underneath the machine I put a strainer bag, a paint strainer bag. If you're running smooth cut lumber, it's not really a concern, but if you're using rough cut lumber, you're going to get a lot of sawdust, and it's very important to strain your stain as it goes out of the machine before you put it back in the top. If you have sawdust, it can cause clogs and things like that, and it will just slow your production time down. So always filter your stain before putting it back into the reservoir. Once your reservoir is empty, you simply turn the ball valve underneath the machine to the closed position, then pour the bucket of stain right back into the reservoir and keep on staining. Once you get your machine set up, your first board you may have to run through twice, but once it's set up and going, you should be ready to go. You want to let your valves just fully saturate these rollers and then just push them on through. One pass. There we go.
All right, guys, there you have it. You can stack the boards up when you're done, or you can hang them right on the fence. This is perfect for using in a factory, perfect for a rainy day, perfect for the job site. A lot of guys use these and they stain the boards and they literally put them right up on the fence, right up on the deck, right up on the ceiling or the patio, pergola, you name it. You can use this for any of those type projects. You can even paint trim with it. It works with latex stains and paints, and works with oil-based stains and paints. So pretty much got you covered no matter what, and it's going to coat all sides. One pass gets a nice, beautiful finish. That's the Expert Paint and Stain Machine.